Good afternoon, students. Welcome to our face-to-face presentations for our Church Office Administration. Once again, welcome to our academic year 2022. I am your tutor. My name is Clemencius Tamarak. My contact details 061-207-2591. My email address is katili@legalshield.com.na. The contact hour that you can contact me mostly, it's either you send an email or normally you send me or you can contact me between 1600 and 8 at night. Just an important reminder for you. Stay cool under the COVID-19 regulations and keep on washing your hands, keeping your distance. That's just an important warning for you. Our course outline or presentation outline is like we will be looking at our assignment structure. We'll be looking at our preparation and writing tips for the examination and the assignment. We'll be looking at continuous assessment and what you need to do during your examination. Your assignment structure, it says answer all the questions. For this subject, there will be no choices. So you answer all the questions that is in the question paper. The questions will range from 2 to 25 marks. That's in your assignment. All questions in the assignment are from the content in the study material provided by OEL. Your marks for this course or the model is 130. There's a small mistake there that it says 120, but it should be 130. So just a correction on that. Assignment preparation tips and writing tips. Students should read the question paper carefully before answering or starting with your assignment. You are not limited to the study guide only, but may consult any other relevant supplementary sources of information. Collect all the relevant study material that you will need in preparation for your assignment. Once you receive your assignments, you need to read through your assignment so that you can better understand and know once you go on search for your information, whether you go and loan books from your library or whether you search on the internet, you need to be mindful on what is it that you wanted to see. So for that, the best one is to read your assignment carefully. The better you prepare, the better marks you score in your assignment. Look at what is required from you in the question paper, whether it says discuss, explain, describe, list, name. Look at the verbs. So when you are answering your question, you do what is required. Whether it says discuss, you discuss. Whether it says explain, you explain. When you prepare to answer an assignment, try by all means to summarize the information you obtain from books, journals, and internet. Do not copy from the source. Even if you copy from the source, you need to acknowledge the source. So do not copy your study guide, as the guide should only assist you in understanding the subject matter. Institutional policies prohibit plagiarism. Therefore, you are urged in all seriousness to avoid copying and acknowledge sources of information such as your guide. Provide practical examples to demonstrate your understanding on the subject matter. Now, for instance, if you deal with handling of a prisoner in the church office, sometimes the book will tell you that consult the prisoner, find to hear from the prisoner what is the issue at hand, how can you solve this. But in reality, once that prisoner is aggressive in the church office, it is so difficult even to talk to him, and then the officers needs to employ whatever means to get this prisoner to calm down. That's why it's important for you to consult the police officers or the police stations just to hear from different members how they deal with these type of situations, to be mindful when you are dealing with answering these type of questions. So continuous assessments per model consist of one assignment. That is, in this case, for this subject, it should be 130 marks for 12 credits. The marks obtained will be calculated as follows to give you your year mark. Marks obtained divided by 12 times 10 to give you the final mark. Now, if for this subject, it's a mark obtained divided by 13 times 10 to get you the final mark out of 100. So, for instance, if you obtain 130 in your assignment, 130 divided by 13 gives you 10. And 10 times 10 gives you 100. So then your final mark out of for the assignment will be 100. A 50% continuous assessment mark is required for admission to the examination. So for you to be able to, for you to be allowed by IOL to write the exam, you need to obtain a sub minimum of 50% in your assignment. That should be clear. Before you are allowed, if you don't submit an assignment and you get 0 out of your continuous assessment, you will not be allowed to write the exam. You will rather be requested to resubmit your assignment or re-register and do the model at the next available time. Continuous assessment and calculation of marks. Continuous assessment per model consists of one assignment. That will be the 130 mark for 12 credits, as I just explained. So it will be calculated, the mark obtained divided by 13 times 10 to get the final mark out of 100. A final pass mark of 50% is required, calculated by 60% of the examination mark and 40% of the continuous assessment mark. A sub-minimum of 50 must be obtained in the examination. Suppose assignment continuous assessment mark is 50. Now your examination mark is 50. So the continuous assessment will be calculated 50% of the 50 you obtain in your assignment, and at the end of the day it will only give you 20. That's why we said get enough material, make sure that you obtain higher mark, then your continuous assessment mark will be higher. But in this case, if you obtain 50, it will be calculated, that gives you 20. So because it will be 50 times 40 divided by 100, that gives you 20. Your examination mark, if you only obtain 50 in your exam, meaning that it will be calculated against 60%. Now it will be 50 times 60 divided by 100 to give you the final mark. That will be 30 in this case. So for your final mark, you will only get the 20 from the continuous assessment and the 30 from the examination. That will give you 50, at least to give you a pass mark of 50, because you need to get the sub-minimum of 50 to pass the course. I hope I'm clear on this one, and if there is any questions on this, you are more than welcome to send me an email. During the examination of, the duration of the examination for the 12 credit is 2.5 hours. So you have 2 hours and 30 minutes to write the exam for the 120 and 130 marks question papers. Answer all the questions. There will be multiple choice questions, true and false statements, and other short questions of marks ranging from 1 to 5. That will be in your examination. Your marks in the assignment was ranging from 2 to 25. For the examination, it's 1 to 5. Additional to that, the paper will also consist of long questions. Now, the long questions will be 10 to 20 marks. So you need to take care of the mark allocation when you are dealing with the answers. All questions in the examination paper are from the content in the study material provided by IOL. Once you approach your exam, the first thing that you need to know is that whether you pass the model and whether you are allowed to write the exam, and then you will be requested to book for your exam. Now, once you book for the exam, you will be receiving a timetable. Now, your timetable is the tool that will tell you that on the 15th, I'm writing charge with administration at 9 o'clock up to 11:30, at Trasco building, or at Police National Headquarters, or at NAST, or wherever. That information you will be receiving from your timetable. So you make sure that you receive your timetable before the exam starts. I hope I'm clear on this one, because if you don't have your timetable, it will be difficult for you to know when you are writing and where you are writing, because the timetable will contain all that information for you. So if you don't receive your timetable in time before the exam start, please consult the IOL officers. Those are administrative details and not something that needs to be dealt with by the tutor, because students will ask you that they did not receive the examination timetable and they need to write next week or after 2 weeks. And please, 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 I'm just reminding you again that I don't deal with administrative issues. I only deal with tutoring of the subject. So if you have questions regarding your assignment, your examination papers, that is when you need to consult me. But other than that, on the venue, on the portal, and all those issues, you need to consult the officers. Remember to carry enough pens, watch, ruler, student card, your ID, and any other material that will be required when writing your exam. Now, normally why we requested you to carry an ID together with your student card, it's because students tend to ask other people to write for them. They are paying people to come and write exams on their behalf. So that's why you need to have your student card together with your ID so that you can see whether the information is the same. You need to do some revision to make sure that you still know the work that you studied, because if you are writing many subjects, you might study today one subject, tomorrow another one, and then once time draws closer, you might get confused. So you can still use the last minute to do some revision to know exactly what is it that you are going to deal with. Examination preparation, read all the topics in your study guide for the preparation of multiple choice questions, filling in missing words and true and false questions. Study hard for the examination to avoid disappointment. Include the following in your preparation: the searching of offender, prisoner at the charge office. Now the requirement is that any prisoner that is arrested should be searched. Any prisoner that makes contact with family members or any other person outside the cells should be searched before they are taken back to the cells. There are numerous issues of a lot of times that you find that prisoners went out, maybe to clean at the charge office or somewhere in the offices, and whilst they are cleaning, they make contact with either family member or a friend that provide prohibited substances to the prisoners, and if you don't search them, they might take in sub-objects into the cells that they can use to even injure others or kill others or injure themselves inside the cells. So you must be mindful when prisoner is outside to search them. Cell management by station commander in order to ensure safe custody. What to do if property is handed to a member on duty outside the police station. Now sometimes members of the public will pick up something or maybe have something that they needed to take to the police station. But now he feels like, for me to go to Vaneda police station from Black Chain, it's easier for me to stop this police officer in uniform and I hand over the stolen cell phone that was maybe hidden somewhere that I pick up. So what should the officer do in that type of circumstances? You need to know those. Students need to spend time and thoroughly read the following topics in preparation for the assignment and the examination. Feeding and clothing of prisoners by members. Know the meaning of the following: suspect, suspect charge, charge accepted, arrest. What does the officers mean? You need to explain them. What should be recorded at the notebook? A notebook is the small book that officers are carrying whenever they are on duty. So know the abbreviations. Verification of vehicles in transit. The purpose and completion of the indemnity by claimant form. That's the Polc 557. Article 1 of the Namibian Constitution. Investigation of a case register. That's the investigating officer's case register. Now that register is where the investigator recorded all the work that is allocated to him wherever he works. How firearms should be handled or forfeited, warning of arrested persons to appear in court, the procedure when ownership is established of found property, what should the officers do if they know that the article that was handed in by somebody else belongs to Master Tsamareb. So the process that they will follow to trace Mr. Tsamareb and hand that property over to the rightful owner. You need to know that. Transfer of case docket, information that must appear on the front page of a case docket. Case docket is a file that you open when there is a case registered at the station. So there is a lot of information that needs to be recorded on top of it. Procedures when cancelling items reported stolen, lost or found to the crime information unit. During the examination, make sure that your student number is written correctly. If possible, on all pages, write your details as requested on the answer sheet. Write down the correct model name and code. Read instructions carefully and ensure you know what is required before you start writing. Do not dive into writing without first reading the entire paper. Students tend to answer wrong questions and lose valuable marks. Answer all the questions correctly in the sequence they are provided. Luckily or fortunately for us, the online examinations, it's having the structure online, so it's easy to just put the answer at the space provided. If this happens, questions should be clearly marked to avoid confusion. You are not permitted to take any form of notes. Now, in this case, we realize that students go and copy from the study guide or from any other given material when they are doing the online exam. Now, I need to warn you that once you copy from the study guide or any material and the system picks it up, then you will be dealt with by the system. Plan how much time you will give to each question in order to save time. Plan your time wisely and write as quickly and neatly as possible. This should ensure that you finish on time. Please take note the mark allocation. You can't provide 2 facts if the question requires 20 marks. If the question only requires 2 marks, don't write 20 facts. You will just end up wasting your time. So consider the length of the mark allocation before you start off your answers. So all the best of your study. Questions of issues not clear can be directed to the tutor at 081-247-4088 or to my email address, and then we can assist. I thank you.